Hi there, welcome back to my channel Scrap and Coffee. In today's video I'm going to try if I can replicate something similar to this little journal page into my big ledger journal. A couple of days ago I posted this image on my Instagram and my Facebook page that I made with the new book from maremismallart. It's called Halloweeny Wicked Personas. It's a really nice Halloween themed book with like personas in there that are like dressed up for Halloween or a bit spooky, but totally cute. And I love the colors in there. The purple, there's a lot of purple in there, and purple is just one of my favorite colors. So that's what I went for with my first make with the book. And I thought, let's try to replicate it in my ledger journal. I haven't done much in my ledger journal yet, and that's because I was kind of missing like large images to put in there. I think I'm just still figuring out like how do I want to use the ledger journal. But in this book there are quite some big images as well, and there's one right there. I've selected one that I want to use in here and see if I can replicate something similar to what I did on the small page there. I'm going to keep this close if I want to add a few more things from it. But I've selected a page in my ledger journal that I want to work on. I selected one that has the ledger, like the writing on one side and is empty on the other side. I don't mind working on the writing, but for now I didn't want to do that. So I've selected this image that I really liked, again with the purple. And I've got some of the big pumpkins, and this is actually from the very first sheet in the book that has a little bit of writing on it as well. And I've cut out the large pumpkins from it. Now I'm not going to throw this away because there's still quite some beautiful flowers and everything. I don't think I want to add it to this page, but I might want to use it later on a different page. So I'm going to save it. And then also I think this is going to be too wide, so I'm going to cut off that little pumpkin on the outside there. I pre-cut my images because I'm not the fastest fuzzy cutter out there, which is alright. But for a video, it's I'm already not the quickest in videos either, so not a good combination. But so I'm thinking about doing something like this, and then the other large pumpkin on the other side, and we'll see. Like this is like a bit weird now, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have a spot for it, yes or no. First I thought I'm going to put it there, but it's a bit weird. But also like on her there was actually a cat, so I could hide that a little bit if I want to. We'll see. This is what we have to work with for now, but let's work on the background first. I'm going to put this to the side. So I'm going to start with some ink. Same technique that I've showed a couple of times now, at least I think I did it a couple of times. I'm going to use Dusty Concord from the Distress Oxide, and I might add some Hickory Smoke as well to this one. Okay, now this is quite a big book, so I need to make a little bit of space there. I'm going to start with the Dusty Concord. So I haven't done this on this large scale yet, so we'll see how we go. I need something else. There we go. I knew I had it somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna add some water if this is cooperating. So this is just some old packaging of a stamp set or a die set. Something. I've added water to the ink, and I'm just going to put my image here, and there is more purple on this side, so I'm going to add some purple more here and on the bottom, I guess. I try not to think about it too much, just a little bit. Try to prevent getting really hard lines. I'm just using my finger to rub it out a little bit, get that more like watercolor look to it. So with some paper towel, I'm just rubbing this off a little bit. And also here. And then I'm going to add in some of the hickory smoke. Same technique. If I can get it to open. And I'm just going to use that same piece of plastic. See what happens here. There is a little bit of a purple undertone in this one as well, actually. Just a little more. I just want to get a little bit more of the gray right there. And then the rest we will add with stamping and texture paste. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. At this stage I always go like, oh, where is this going? I'm not sure. But we have to stay confident that we can make it work. Okay, so wipe that off. That will go to the side. I'm going to give this a quick dry before we add some stamping. Alright, now this is not a watercolor paper or anything. It's a thicker paper, and I've added quite some water to it, so it's kind of curling up right now. That's alright. I'm going to start with this stamp set. I'm going to use this stamp in particular. This is a stamp set art by Marlene from Studio Light, and I don't know, it's ABM, that stands for Art by Marlene, 25 stamp 870 if you are interested. I have this is not sponsored. I don't earn any money with you buying these products. It's just showing you what I'm using. But I would highly recommend you use whatever you have in your stash, right? Again, I'm going in with the same purple, Dusty Concord. I'm just going to ink up this stamp a little bit. I'm not using a stamping block. And I'm just going to pick it up from my surface, and I'm just going to add some of this stamping here and there on the page. Now it's quite a large stamp, so sometimes it's a bit hard to get it where you want to. I'm trying to not overthink it, and just let's see if we can get like a second stamp from, yeah, a little bit lighter. I have quite a big image that is going to cover this background, so I'm trying to make sure that there is some of this stamping showing after all of that is in place, and maybe a little bit of see-through behind the images. Well, I don't know, I shouldn't have done that last one actually. And that's the only stamp that I'm using today out of this stamp set. And then I have another one that I wanted to use. I might go in a little bit. Sorry, let's get that in camera. With my favorite stamp set here, which is quite an older one from Stamperia. But I really like this cracked background. It's a bit small for this page, but that's all right. I'm going in with the hickory smoke just to add a bit of detail here and there, and I'm going for the side where the cracks are a bit further apart because this is a big page. I think it suits it better. I just want to have that showing throughout the page. And I like the combination of the soft gray with this pinkish purplish color. I don't think we're going to see that one, but that's all right. You never know. One more there. Okay. Then I'm going to get my archival inks, because like this is really, these stamps were going into the background and I didn't mind if it wasn't a really clear, crisp stamp, but now I want it to be a bit more crisp. So I'm going to get an archival ink. Again, in hickory smoke, and I have another stamp set here from Art by Marlene. I think this is a bit of an older one. I don't know what the number is yet. I think I'm hiding it because I folded it a little bit so it can fit into my storage thing. I don't see it. Oh, it's here. It's stamp 689. And I'm going to use the text stamp, because I'm a sucker for some text in my background. I'm just inking that up as well, and I'm very dangerously doing this on top of my ledger. My archival ink in hickory smoke is a bit drier, so we'll see how that goes. And again, I just want to have that a little bit in the background. If I go on top of there, you're not going to see much of it. So I'm just trying to find some spots where we probably will see a little bit of it, but it doesn't have to stand out as much for me. Alrighty. I'm thinking maybe this scribble, but I'm gonna go switch to my black. Let's do black suit. That one is over here separately. I haven't used this one yet, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I don't mind that the stamping is not perfect. That's fine for me. There we go. Done. I think that's where we're gonna leave it with the stamping for today. Do I want to add a bit more purple on the background? I'm not sure. I think I do actually, a little bit here, a bit more stronger. I want to have that color come back, so I'm just going to give it a try. I've never done it after the stage that I just already did the stamping, so might be a bit dangerous. We might ruin some stuff. Let's be a bit careful. I'm just gonna go in some places where I want it to come out a bit stronger, or show a bit more. So I don't have to worry where I use the archival ink, but where I've used the distress ink for stamping, that's where I need to worry a little bit. But then on the other end, you know, it might just add to the texture. if it's like, how do you say that? If it runs a little bit, the stamp. Okay, I'm not gonna do too much. Let's give that another try. Okay, now I really like with this purple color, so what is the name again? Dusty Concord, right? Yep. That when it oxidizes, there's a bit of blue coming through. I really like that. Okay, I think this is, I like this a little bit better. Like a lot of it is falling away behind it, but I have a little bit more of that purple coming through. Because now I'm going to use some stenciling and I'm going to use some black modeling paste for it. So I was considering, where did I put them? These two stencils. So this is like a brick wall. And I've used this one in my latest video as well with the journal page, but it's one of my most used stencils, as you can see by the look of it. It's like used quite a bit. So let's see, I want to have a little bit of that brick wall, but like more to the bottom probably. We'll figure it out. I'm going to use a palette knife this time. Let me think, I need to think about this. I'm going to put some here first on this side so I can work next to it later on. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm not worried if it's not completely filled in. Trying to get a bit more of a grungy look with it. See, I don't see if I can fix that, because I hate when it blurs like that. It's a bit too thick for me here. Hopefully we'll cover that up with the pumpkins. I hope. Okay, and a little bit here. So it probably has to do with the fact that the page is not flat. So I'm only grabbing a little bit. I feel that gives me a better results. Just dip it a few more times. See, and again, I hate this. Let's say it's because the page is not flat, but yeah. So some of these areas are like really thick and I don't like it. This modeling paste has a bit of a structure in it. Like it's a bit gritty. I don't always find it easy to work with. Sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it doesn't go as well, like right now. I'll just work around it. But some areas are like really thick and I'm just carefully with my palette knife scraping off that thick layer while it's still wet. Like when it's a little bit thick, that's alright, that adds to the texture. But too thick, I don't like it. But I have to be very careful because I might make things worse. Okay. I always feel that you get the best results if you just leave it to dry by air, but yeah, I could have gone a bit, maybe I'll just place it a bit more like this eventually. So I would like to place it a bit more higher, but I could have gone a bit higher with the stenciling there. That's okay. We'll see what we do. because I was thinking, am I going to add a bit of this? Maybe just add it as well with the black stenciling paste. And then we'll add that one a bit higher. Just going to put this a bit lower. Let's see if we can do a bit of a better job this time. No, it's alright, I'll hold it. Again, I'm doing small bits. I'm not worrying to fill it in completely. And just a little bit over here as well. So I'm just like try to blend the two stenciling in with each other, like the wall and the letters, numbers that are not really recognizable, which is alright. To blend in like it's one piece. It's a bit difficult to keep it flat. Alright, so I did those two stencils in a way where I did them in the same spot where I tried to blend it into as one piece. Not everything is as clean as I would have liked to. We'll see where we go. Next up I'm going to do some black splattering. I need to keep this in frame actually. So I've got some contour liner from Stamperia. This is the black. I'm going to add some on my work surface. I'm going to add some water to it. Not too much. So this is not very matte. This has a little bit of shine to it, whereas this modeling paste is a really matte finish. I'm just going to add those splatters all over the page. I don't mind if there are some bigger splatters, some smaller splatters. Okay, that's it. And it's everywhere, of course. And as you see, I really like to clean as I go. Okay, another quick try. Let's see how it goes if I leave it to dry by air, because I need to ink up my images anyway. So I'm going to get some archival ink in Black Suit, and I'm just going to ink up the edges. Okay, so we've done that. The drips are as good as dry. So let's have a look at the composition here. Guess we're going a little bit lower. I think it looks best. For me, this is just playing like with the elements of what do I like and what do I not like. Because I don't like this, so I would love to cover it up a little bit. I think this is going to be it. Do I want something with this little kitty cat? I don't think so, actually. Could add her there. Oh, that can be fun. Alrighty, I guess we have a layout. As you can see, there's a lot of my brick texture paste that's falling away. I'm not really sad about that. I'm okay with that today. I'm going to get a piece of paper. And there is a lot happening on the back. There is like, it's not very flat. Am I still in frame if I put it like this? Somewhat, right? But I am going to try to adhere it with my glue stick first and then add some gel medium on top. We'll see how that goes. So what if I stick this one on top of that one? It's never going to end up being exactly the same as it was just now. That's okay. It's because I want to work on top that I'm going to add some gel medium later. But if I add gel medium on the back as well right now, it's more water to the page, more moisture to the page, and it's going to curl up more and more. It's going to be harder and harder to keep it flat. So that's why I choose to work with a glue stick now to keep it adhered to the back as good as possible. And then put the gel medium on top only. So let's make sure that we cover up that weird part of the pumpkin. A little higher. So she's holding a little stick, which I think was supposed to, there was supposed to be like a pumpkin hanging on it for her trick-or-treating. But I cut it off. And then I made it a bit shorter. So now it's more like a wand. Well, see, with my gel medium I can like glue things extra down if I need to in a minute. And then this little kitty cat will go like right there. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my gel medium and a brush. I'm using Dina Wakley gel medium. It's a matte finish. Now this paper is pretty matte, and it's funny because this one is printed in, I think it's in Poland, so I bought it here in the Netherlands. But my other books that I bought when I was in Australia were printed in Australia, and they had a way, like completely different paper quality compared to this paper. Completely different. So that was more shiny, and I don't have my books available to me yet. Few more weeks, like early December I will have all my stuff available to me again, because we were successful in buying a house that we will move into like in December. So up to that point I do not have access to all of my crafting supplies. So I'm also with some of the albums, because I actually brought the 49er Market, what was it, Little Dreamers collection with me to make an album. But I started designing it, and then I just went like, yeah, but I want to have that bunch to use with it because I want to go for that look, and I want to have this and I don't have it. So I just like put it off. I'm like, okay, I will focus on the more intricate albums when I have all of my supplies available again, so I can really make it the way I want it. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding a little bit of that gel medium, and I'm going all the way on top, but I actually don't have to. It's more like, and I need to be careful. Like I said earlier, I used distress products which will react to the water. But I want to add shadow here, and that's where I really need the gel medium to create a non-porous surface. So I can add my Indian ink markers there and prevent them from getting straight into the paper. Like when the surface is non-porous, I can, well, you will see later, rub them out a little bit to create that shadow. So in those places I really need it. So I try to think about where do I really want it. Now, because it's not a flat surface, sometimes it's a struggle to get everything to stick and not have air underneath. Okay, now while that is drying a bit more, I'm trying to find some, that one's just Halloween, I want to keep that intact. I did see a saying that I want to use, I think, somewhere on the bottom of the page. Here. I think I'm gonna go for spooky season. That's right here. Let's trim that one. I think it's gonna live over there. That's where you're gonna live. Yes. Okay, I'm going to grab my black and white pen. Let's start with this one. Just outlining it. I feel like my gel marker and my black pen are easier to work with when I don't have the gel medium on top. But if I do it before I add the gel medium, they will react to the moisture that's in there and it becomes a bit messy. So I don't know if you can see it on this one, because here I did the black and white first. I don't think you can really see it, but over here, like when I added the gel medium, the black just started to run a little bit. Well, you don't really see it in the end result, but like when you're doing it, I'm like, oh, I have to be very, very careful there. Am I going to glue this down first? Sure. You know what? I'm going to get some. Let's see if I can wake this glue up. Just try to keep it flat again. I just used some of my art glitter glue for this one. There we go. Okay, well, I've done this many times before, or many times, like I've been doing it for years, but like it's not the first time that I'm doing this in a video, but I just like to add a bit more detail to some of the lines and make it pop a little bit more. Have the image come to life. And in the beginning, when I started doing this, I was very precise, following the lines, and as I'm doing it more and more, I'm getting better at it, of just being a bit more sketchy and not worry about it too much. Oh, by the way, did you notice what's wrong? Well, wrong, that's a really terrible thing to say, but there is something with this image. And when you see it, you don't unsee it. And my first thought was like, oh, I need to cover that up. But then I was like, no, that's a terrible thought. You shouldn't cover it up, because the thing is, she's missing a hand. And let's be real. We have people in the world that only have one hand or one arm for whatever reason it may be. So why do we need to cover it up? There's nothing wrong with only having one hand. It's just part of who she is. So no, we're not covering that up. It is what it is. So a little bit of inclusion here. I'm not sure Marta did that on purpose in her design. But when you think about it, it's actually nice, right? I don't think people that have a disability like that see themselves portrayed very often in things like this. So as you can tell, I do quite a lot of the lines, right? It's, you do this as much or as little as you want to do it. Okay, once we're done with the black, we're gonna go in with the white and do some highlighting. And again, I try not to overthink it and not overdo it, which is probably the hard part, to not overdo it. Alrighty. I feel like this is it. This is it. And then lastly, some shadows. I always get a bit nervous doing the shadows because if I didn't do my gel medium correctly, then this is not gonna go well. But I have this set from Faber-Castell. It's markers with Indian ink inside. It's a really nice set. I use it sometimes to enhance colors, or I use the gray tints to make the shadow. And then I also have one separate, it's a bit of a darker gray. Mostly I combine them to create the shadow. So, but I always start with a lighter one, and I just put some down, and then I just rub it slightly. And I can do this because of the gel medium that is there, and the surface has become non-porous in those areas. If I place it somewhere where I don't have that medium, the gel medium, it's going to soak straight into the paper and I can't do anything with it. So this is quite light, I can tell, for the shadow, but it's just like a first layer. And it's like, for me, it's always like the safe option. I can always make the shadow darker, but lighter, that's difficult, right? So just a bit more building up with the lighter gray, and then I will go in with the darker gray as well. Alright, the darker gray, it has a different tip. This is a soft brush tip, so it works a bit differently. Well, the idea is the same, but it's just like a different touch to the paper. So when I switch, I always have to get used to it a little bit. So I try to have these dark areas a bit more darker, but I think I like it this way. Maybe a bit more here. Yes, that looks fine. Okay. Whoa, my camera really changed there. That's much better. Sorry about that. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm just the only one. The only last thing to do is finishing touch with some white splatter. So for that one, I'm going to use the Kuretake Drop of Snow. I give it a good shake. And I need a little bit of a scrap piece of paper. I can use this one here for my title. I just like to cover it up slightly. As well. There we go. There, I think I like it that way. Okay, a little bit of heat on there to set that. Yep, I'm going to give it a little bit of an outline. Where I'm just gonna go, how am I going to do this? Really messy, that's okay. So a very messy double line, and I'll just scribble a little bit here and there. And mostly I try to make those scribbles where the lines come together a bit more. There we go. All done. So this is my journal page in my ledger with the Wicked Personas from maremismallart. I hope you like it. It was a bit of a journey to get there, but I'm happy with the end result. And yeah, I hope you like it. I hope you got some ideas from it. I want to say thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.